All right, everyone, welcome back. Whew. Let's see what we got here. I just poured out some of the Warlock Purple, and we're gonna do this up. I already got the transfer cut out, so it's gonna be a good old Slaanesh symbol. That's saved for the other pauldron, but let's hope this comes out how we need it to come out. We're gonna try this brush, but I haven't had much luck with this Warlock Purple on anything bigger than a purity seal. I don't know, it's just, it didn't come out all that great, and I don't know, it's not as bad as the purple I had used, because I don't exactly consider this to be purple. The dark purple that I have, that just comes out so blotchy. Even when I thinned my paints, it didn't really seem to help all that much. And I know some of you out there just be like, well, you should be thinning your paints anyway. And I will say to you, some of you people, you are right. It's okay. We all paint our minis different, and if I'm painting them wrong, then that's my burden to bear. And I can already see it happening with this. I got a little sediment on my brush there. Anyway, it's already coming out a little chunky and whatnot, but that's okay. We can always just play that up to this specific Marine. Like, he likes things grimy. So the hardest part is going around all this stuff. Probably just have to end up using the other brush. One with the finer tip, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get in on those bottom parts without blotching things too much, like to the point where it's just not salvageable and you're going to have to repaint. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in focus for you guys. Trooper 6 is at it. You know what just popped into my head? So I know during my last series I had mentioned a buddy of mine overseas, Biggest Dickus, and I finally got his real name. I will protect his identity and not say his real name right now. But either way, he actually bought my khorne Lamenter. He got it off of my Etsy shop. He really liked what I did with it, and he wanted it. So I opened up shipping to him, because it wasn't originally set to overseas. I'd heard horror stories about how sending things overseas can be a pain in the ass, especially with certain taxes or laws, even. So I just kind of avoided it. And he wanted it, so I was like, you know what, dude, I will do this for you. And I set it up for him, and I sent that out. I hope he has it by now. I'm sure by the time this airs, he will definitely have it. Said it was like 6 to 10 business days. He hasn't posted about having it just yet. So, I mean, not that I expect him to post about it, but I know he'll let me know when he gets it, because I know he was really excited about that thing. And I was actually a little sad to see it go. I like my blood chaptered berserkers. They're part of my homebrew war band that I made called the Fallen Blood. Get a little swirly in there. But yeah, he liked it very much. I'm very thankful that he did. I liked it very much. It's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite out of those that I've done because they all turned out pretty good in their own ways. And I can see where I could improve on future models in each one. The Blood Angel came out just so nice. I know it looks a little streaky. We'll probably have to let that settle. And we can go over it with another layer. But we're going to take some pink and we're going to do this backpack. So let's do that. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Meh, meh. Meh, 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 meh. So yeah, I hope the model did not like break in transit. Not to like point fingers at anybody in that industry, but even I have worked as a deliverer of packages before, and I was not a dick to people's packages, but I've seen them end up on the truck, and I was like, "Are you kidding? Like this has a boot print." I really hope that whoever I'm delivering this to is not at the door waiting, because if they're gonna blame me, and I can't exactly convince them otherwise. Like, nope, sorry, dude, it wasn't me, says the guy holding the package, trying not to look guilty. Like, because that's just classic misdirection. When something goes wrong, you just blame someone else. It's classic. Learned that in the sales team. When the sales rep lied, you just blame them. Oh, when the sales rep lied, they want you to cover them, and I'm like, dude, fuck you. I don't know how many times you guys did not cover me, but they're not all like that. They're not all like that. It's usually just the young and experienced ones or the greedy ones. Sometimes they're just people who just don't really give a shit. But either way, those days are gone, and we're moving on. I'm like tempted to paint the head white. Or I mean, pink. It's very tempting. Yeah, I didn't want to do the entire armor pink. I honestly did not think it would work. This is where I should have painted the armor, or I mean the backpack, before I even put it on. Because I totally forgot about painting it pink at key points, and here I am paying for it. Having to try to be careful. That's okay. We got this. We got this. I don't think we're doing too bad on time. Yeah, 9 minutes. We're doing okay. Not ideal right now, but we're doing okay. This is where that longer bristle would come in handy, but I'm just kind of in the zone at the moment, so I'm going to stick to my guns real quick. It also gets to be a challenge on how to hold this guy. I can see what I'm painting, and I'm trying to be very careful and mindful, and then I'm like, can you guys see what I'm painting? I don't know. But I'm also not exactly worried about what you can see at certain points of this model, because I'm like, I am trying to see what I'm doing, and I need it to work out. And not get pink in the spots that don't need to be pink. Getting tough. Getting real tough. Yeah, man, that head. Looking at it. And a part of me is saying that it wants to be pink. Just some part of me is telling me that it wants. It's Slaanesh. She's channeling. She's channeling through the mini, and it's telling me, "Paint me pink. Do it." And I shouldn't give in, even though it's so delectable, so tempting. The pink with the dark iron doesn't look too bad, honestly. Man. I would have a better idea if I could just have the pauldrons on them. One of them I can put on. So we will be putting that one on there. Alright, pulled it off there, but you can see all that tack is still on there, so we're just going to swirl, swirl, swirl. Come on, there you go. Get off, get back onto that. Okie dokie. So, Slaaneshi will be on the right. Alright, we're at 12 minutes. Just trying to keep in mind how long I'm taking on certain videos and whatnot. I have gotten better with transfers. I bet I've been annoying some people with how I do transfers. People would probably say, dude, you're so careless or cavalier with it or something. And you're not wrong. Okay, pauldron's on there. It's looking sweet. But let me take a look. And man, it's such a tough call. It's such a tough call for that head. But I think I've cut out the wrong color Slaanesh marker, so I might have to get my transfer sheet over here and cut out the white one, because I think that'll work better, probably. All right, so let me see. If we do that, I'm not putting it on there just yet. I could probably leave the head white. We'll see when we do the reveal video at the end. If it's changed to pink, you'll know I changed my mind. But yeah, it's a tough call. That's a tough call. But with that black logo, the white logo might look cooler. Oh, it's so hard to tell, but it's probably going to be like damn near transparent. And it might echo. Oh, jeez, man. Oh, that's tough. It's so tough that my knee is bouncing. He's looking pretty cool. I'll give myself props for that. Like, I'm digging the model. It's different. It's such a hard choice. I want to say white to give it that contrast. So you're gonna have to bear with me while I get my transfer sheet out. So I got this. Get the hell out of my way. I got this bad boy at my local game shop. So glad that somebody turned this in, because I've never seen a transfer sheet like this, and I couldn't be more grateful that somebody would not use this. So thanks. Thank you very much. All right, let's cut out the only white one that I have. Ugh. It'll look good for the model. Hopefully somebody will drop off another one of these bad boys, because that would just be fantastic, honestly. So the part of the reason why I'm hesitant on it is because of my Slaaneshi Night Lord that I did. And I thought about putting the white symbol on him, because I could do another custom like I did for the Khorne Night Lord, but I don't know. Okay, so we've got this and we've got the white. You can't really see, so I don't know why I'm bothering to show you, but we've got it. I'm going to stick this back onto the tack. All right. I think the white will do us some justice. I've also got my varnish, so let's get that out and prepped. And y'all get to see me put a transfer on in the wrong ways. I've even got my little water. So I had to make sure I didn't have the wrong transfer that I was about to wet there. Okay, varnish. Let's do all the pink. And I want it to be nice and wet. Especially for Slaanesh. Oh man, I'm sorry folks. So this is probably going to be a bit more challenging than I really want it to be. Because I, in past dealings with transfers, I've had them rip, which has been so irritating. I was going to say, and this one doesn't seem to want to come off. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Come on, dude, just nah. It's not exactly where I want it, but it's holding, so we're just gonna have to seal it onto there. Soak up some of that extra, so it doesn't come out too caked, because I've had that problem with some of my transfers as well, coming out caked. That's okay. So now that we got the transfer on there, not bad, not bad. The black might have done its own little thing, but I think the white one's going to serve a pretty good purpose here. And we'll get some of that tack out of there. I'm trying to be careful by only holding it by the edges. Thank God these Chaos pauldrons have some pretty decent sized edges on them. All right, that needs to move. And let's get our model back in here. All right. At the 20-minute mark, so not bad. Not bad. All right. Hold on. I see a little. It was a little hair or something. Make sure that bad boy's on there good and proper. In the proper spot. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we made the right choice with the white, especially with the other symbol. Gives it a really nice contrast. Now, forgive me for 1 second. I'm going to get my transfers out real quick, and we're going to look at something. Because I had an idea before, and this idea was to put a certain thing on there. None of these look to be all that usable. I was going to try to find a tiny one, like this little black one right here might work. But if I could put that over the white circle, that'd be kind of cool. That bigger one right there might work. But I was hoping to find a more refined symbol. This is my initial idea, was to do a little World Eater symbol, and then I was going to freehand the rest of the symbol onto them. And it doesn't need it. Or does it? Oh, the choices. Oh, the choices. Yeah, that's too big. It would mirror the other one so well, since the symbol on his left pauldron is two-toned. It would add to it, I think. Let's get that out of there. All right, because if I don't like how it looks, we can just say nah. We're at 23 minutes. It's rough. It's rough, but if I were to do that, I don't know, part of me doesn't want to even mess with it. So I'm like, it's simple enough, and that was going to be the symbol. I was going to put it over here and do that on top of it, and that was going to be the symbol, but I had this pauldron sitting there, and I almost bet you this was supposed to be initially my traditional colored World Eater, and not the Slaanesh one. And you know what? We're going to play it safe for now, because we can always do another model of him. I wouldn't mind. We could change things up back and not get carried away with ourselves. But it's okay. Now we can move on to one of the final phases, and that would be shading and base work. First of all, instead of doing it backwards like that, I'm going to get our good old stuff out. Alright, we're going to make this look very basic. So we're going to use this Army Painter Brown Battlefield. It's just some rocks. And of course we're going to be using Mod Podge. Now this is the matte. No gloss finish or anything like that. No, that isn't really going to matter. But yeah, we're going to use that stuff. And I need a good old messed up brush that I don't mind getting more messed up. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da. We'll grab this little crapper right here. This thing is all kinds of messed up. All right, these brushes need to move. So, Mod Podge. This stuff is great if you've never used it before. By all means. I got that courtesy of my wife. But we are going to... I need some more. Whoa. A little too much there. Maybe I should have got a better brush, huh? Maybe something that wasn't so stiff bristled. Yeah, you're going to just spread it on, get it pretty thick. You don't want it to be too thin because you want the gravel to really stay. Because generally you want to do it, wait for it to dry, then do a layer of Mod Podge over it to help seal it in. Yeah, I should have grabbed a better brush, but that's okay. It's serving the purpose we need. And you want to get pretty much all the way to all the edges. Spread that out a little bit. All right. Let's open up our Battlefield Brown. Let's get you off. And very simple dunk and swish. Shake off all your excess. Clean up the rim. Yep. You don't want any overhang really. It's not that big a deal, but if you want something a little cleaner, by all means, clean up the rim a little bit. I like to tap, tap, tap. Make sure some of the loose stuff really gets out of there. And there you go. Very simple. See how quick that was? And then that's going to dry. And that's going to stay there. And you just did a real quick base. Stupid simple. Stupid easy. Some of those rocks are still a little loose. There we go. All right. Put my Mod Podge away. I don't know if they sell smaller packs of that Mod Podge. You could definitely use something smaller. That'd be fine. And now for the main event. Whew! You guessed it. Citadel. Nuln Oil. A.K.A. Cheat Sauce. Alright. Now he's got that stark white, which looks so good, but we are going to have to muddy it all up. And I'm thinking about just covering all of it. Maybe. Actually, since I'm on a maybe, let me clean this brush real quick. I don't want to fully ruin that one. And we're going to use our pinpoint. We're going to try to keep this pinpointed as much as possible. Because I do like that nice bright shiny white. I think it does a lot for it. And we never set out to make a grimdark depiction of this anyway. We never did our happy little blood splatters. But that's okay. We just might, because it looks like we got time for it. And the blood splatters really don't need... they really don't need to be, shaded. But the shade oil should help blend some of this janky mess. Should. Honestly, we forgot to do some dry brushing and edge highlighting. So before I get too carried away, we're going to do that. I know we're jumping all over the place, guys, but it's okay. Barbarian flesh, come here. We're going to do some of you. Barbarian flesh is going to look pretty nifty over that tanned flesh. Alright, so what I do usually is I get it and I wipe some of the excess off until I can get my brush mainly flat and not have too much on it. So it's kind of like a dry brush effect, but I'm doing a quick edge highlight. And then of course you can just kind of me. You know what would have looked pretty decent on that? Maybe the white. Either way. Or not the white, the mummy robe. Mummy robe probably wouldn't have been a bad touch, but you know what? We're not even gonna use the tanned flesh. We're just going to keep the barbarian flesh. Keep doing these edges while it's still pretty wet. And then we can 2 little quick swipes. And then you can dirty the rest of it up. Make it really look like it's some worn leather. And the color doesn't match the rest of it. And since we covered that gun belt already, just going to do a little bit of dry brushing on it just to make it pop a little bit. We can do a little bit of the belt. Because you're not going to be able to see too much of that anyway. But either way, alright. So for that bone, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, the bone, right? We need the mummy robes. Oh man, that was way too much I just put on there. Okay. Mummy robes. This will be edged onto the bone. Give that a nice edge. Nice edge there. And there. And I did learn a trick recently. Oop. I did learn a trick recently when it came to edge highlighting. They were like, instead of doing edge highlight over the whole damn model, what you could do is just pick your light source and do it that way. So that way, one, you're just doing less, and it'll come out as more. We'll use some of that on here anyway. It doesn't matter. All right. And we're actually going to stick to this. And we're going to do some of the edges here. Oh, sorry. We're going to do some of these pauldron edges. And this is still the mummy robe, of course. So we could have done some silver, we could have done some bronze. That's okay. We're just going to do some of this to really try to bring it out. Oh, my thumb just raked over that. Bring out those edges. Sometimes when I've done edges, they just didn't come out all the best with the metallics. Sometimes. I don't mind giving a little bit of stark contrast on this. Should just be doing it this way. Okay. I'll do it across the top of the knee. Not too much though. Oh, like that. Use my finger, dirty that back up, it'll be just fine. Okie dokie. And the backpack could use just a little bit. Okay. Wipe the excess on my hand that time. Just going to do some of these edges. By some, I mean I'm going to do pretty much all the edges I can, but I'm not going to do like a butt ton of painting to it. Because it just needs to be there as a subtle highlight. Where are we? 38 minutes. Okay. Not bad. This is going to be our last episode for this anyway. So just like the Night Lord, if it needs to run just a little bit longer, it'll be fine. Okie dokie. And I think that'll probably just be it. Just taking another look at it real quick back here. And just kind of getting a different light source. I don't know what I'm doing with that. Either way. Okay, let's get back to that shading and finish this bad boy up. All right. Bloop. It's not working how I wanted it to. All right. White is tricky, man. White is tricky. There's two armor colors I don't really care for. One is white and one is black. Black, I always feel like I end up with a very bland model because I go to do the highlighting and it just muddies everything so far beyond recognition, or things just look chalky at the end, and I can't stand that. Because that's just a sign of you did too much. You were going for it, but you ended up doing too much. You know, something just popped into my head. I did an event recently, and it was at a library, and some friends of mine said, "Hey, why don't you bring some minis and paint at the event? That way, people can actually see. They can really see that you are doing all this. Plus, it kind of gives you something to do." Because there were a few times we were just bored at events, just kind of sitting around. You know, so many people walking around and whatnot. Not everyone's willing to talk. So you're just kind of sitting there, you know, in between all the action and whatnot. And they were like, "Yeah, well, if anything, just bring something to paint. That way, like I said, you get to show off that you are actually painting these by hand. Somebody might even want the one that you're painting, because a lot of times people at cons will do that. They'll paint something and immediately put a price on it and just sell it right there. But like, yep, just painted this today." Gives you something to do, and also gives you a way to full on ignore people. And that totally happened to me, and not even. It kind of happened, ironically or coincidentally in a way. It was not my goal to ignore anyone there, but I was working on one of my Skyrim crossover pieces, and I got so into it that my wife ended up talking to the people who were trying to talk to me and just trying to answer the questions that they had, because I was just gone. I was wrapped up in my work, and I wasn't about to apologize for it. I'm sorry. I'm sure at this con and whatnot, but I am working. Yeah, even just doing the con is, working as it is, but I was like, I'm actually putting in some work here, and I tend to focus on what I'm doing. Try to. Yeah. Some days are easier than others to focus on what you're doing. Like today did not, I guess, start out the best. I don't know. I don't know. I'll blame the movie for leaving a funk in the air. Not a bad funk or anything per se. Just like, ugh, it was quiet. Like, the day after a big battle, not a lot of people are wanting to talk. Fuck it, we'll just dirty that head. It'll be alright. Dry that a little bit and get right on in there. Pick up that excess. There we go. Okay. So like I said, we're trying to dirty up some of it, but not all of the model. Because if you do too much, then I have to... If I do too much, then I have to go over the rest of the model, and that'll just kind of be a pain in the ass. Because then too much will be applied. Actually, the pauldrons probably just slap it on. Slap it on and clean it up. Let it pool around it. Pull in the teeth. And let it pool in the crevices. And that's where shading can get tricky on you. Careful. Alright, we're at 47 minutes. But, that being said, I guess we did just turn this into a bigger episode because, like I said, dude, I didn't want to stretch this into another fucking episode. It took just as long to do it as some of the others that I do. But I wasn't about to drag it out all day. Oh, there is a part on his chest I totally forgot to paint, but guess what? Can't really see it, thanks to the arm being in the way. So thanks, arm. Yeah, that pulled too much there. There we go. All right. Well, since we're just about done here, I want to thank everyone for having tuned in. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, of course, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm usually pretty good at getting back to everyone. If you have any painting ideas, like challenges and whatnot, by all means. If you have any other requests / demands, like homebrew lore that you want me to do, by all means. Or hell, even if you guys want to know some of the opinions that I have on certain things, 10th edition, which Primarch is overrated, or something. Just like I said, hit me up. I will be more than happy to talk to everyone and just help this community grow. Keep a lookout for the new content. I hope I can get that to you guys sooner rather than later. That, again, all depends on recording schedules and everything. Life is what it is. Gets pretty busy sometimes. So we do what we can. Now, the only thing I can ever ask anyone is just please be patient. Whoo. All right. Well, that Night Lord is done. We got to wait for everything to dry, of course, and then hopefully this thing turns out well. Hope you guys had fun. I had fun painting this one. But I guess we will see you guys on the next one. And we might change it up. Oh, excuse me. We might change it up next episode, do something D&D related. It might just be more Warhammer. It kind of all depends, but either way, I will see you guys next time. May the Void Father guide your brush, people. Please stay safe. And I'll see you again. Take it easy.